start to think about the intention, I forgot about what I need to dance.
It's a normal process.
When I start to think about an intention, my brain is like, I say, okay, what's next? Okay, what should be, you understand?
It's normal, it's normal. So that's why we should train till a point that you don't need to think about motion. Make sense? That's why we should give space. I know that you are very methodic, speaking about you specifically, okay? Nikita Kolsov, the guy from Moscow. You are like, you look to dance almost like martial arts. Methodic, training, practice, very strict. Because you also have a background from ballroom. And in ballroom you need to have, and you are Russian, so it's normal. You need to have all these things. But this will be the big difference from an African native person or a Latin American native person. This is cultural, okay? They don't invest so much time, generally speaking, okay? I'm not saying that is everybody. Generally speaking, and it's a cultural thing, I'm not saying that is better or it's worst. In some things, it's very useful, both ways of approach. But usually a native person don't invest time in proving movement because they have this motion naturally on their growth by almost like osmosis. You know what osmosis is? Something that passes through your skin without your noticing. They grow up seeing parents, seeing uncles, seeing grandparents. They go to the parties with the friends. They engage with people with this kind of approach of movement. So the way of living, it makes part of this. We, non-native, need to have different approach, or most of us. But my advice for people like you, Nikita, and if you are listening this lesson after, and you also have this methodic way, relax. Mainly when you go to a social, when you go to a party, don't think about practicing. I know that this might be very difficult for you because you always want to improve, you always want to be better. But there will be a barrier of improvement in terms of natural movement if you don't allow yourself to don't think. So, lesson, studio, in front of a mirror, practice, repeat. Use your natural process, your best process to achieve your goals. When you go to social, when you go to practice, forget all the learnings you get. Just allow your body to move without thinking. And it's a switch that sometimes it's easier to talk about it than to do it. It's not sometimes, it's always. But it's a process of conscience. Okay, I'm thinking about the movement. Forget. Listen to the music. Search an instrument. Search a connection with a person. Close your eyes. Stay in the spot. Just feel the breathing, the energy, the pulse of the person that is in front of you connected to the music. And find like almost an harmonic communication. Like it's almost spiritual. It's not almost, it's spiritual. Okay? Your connection to the music, to the person, to the environment, to the people around you. Allow yourself to be distracted by that, to don't have a rational thinking. Because your body already received nutrition to be able to perform as you need to perform. But then you need to allow your body to achieve your natural motion. Otherwise, it will be always a studied movement. Ballroom, ballet, cool, because standard dances, it's supposed to look trained. When you go to popular dances, to folklore, you cannot look trained. You need to look natural. But of course, we want to reach different stages of performance. So that's why we train ourselves, mainly when we want to go on stage. Because on stage you supposedly need to be more sharp, you need to look, have better lines. But now think about the mix of these two worlds. To have lines, to have technique, but at the same time you can see joy, natural, effortless, everything looks like natural, smooth. So for me, as a dancer, as a professional dancer, a performer and a social dancer, this is what I try to reach. With two different mindsets, stage, social dance. With different levels, they are different, but they have points in common. So when I go social, it's a moment of sharing with a person. I forget the people around. I don't want to be evaluated. I want to feel good. I want to connect with that person and with that song and allow myself to please also the person that is dancing with me. When I'm going on stage, it can be two different feelings. In one hand can be something selfish because I want to express myself without the will of pleasing others. So it's a way of expression, and I get like no interest if the people will applaud, if the people will like it, if the people don't like it, if they cry, if they smile, if they scream. So in an artistic expression, there are moments that I don't care about the audience, depending on what I will do. It's a moment of myself with the group that I'm dancing with the person that I'm dancing with, or with myself only, because it can be a solo. But most of the times when I perform, I also think about entertainment, because maybe, depending on what I will do, there will be people paying to watch what I'm doing. So if they pay to watch, I have an extra responsibility, in my perspective, this is not the only way of thinking, it's my perspective, to please the expectation of that people. So my behavior will be different. The way that I will be connecting with the audience will be different. If I'm going to a competition, it's different, because I need to please the judges. It's not a natural pleasure thing. I'm competing, it's a sport, so competition, it's a sport. It's not social, it's not entertainment, it's a sport, and sports have rules, and you need to respect rules. And in a dance competition, the rules are defined by people, and you need to please that specific people under the expectation that they have to do things. So always you need to understand what are your goals of training. And if social dancing is one of that goals, you really need to allow yourself to just let it go in some point. Make sense?
Yes.
And for a methodic ex-ballroom martial arts Russian person, this is difficult to put it inside. I know and I feel that you understand the concept, but I feel also that it's difficult for you to do that.
Yes.
So it's talking to you.
I find the meaning of this, you know.
It's at the beginning, maybe it's a question of talking to yourself, trying to identify the practicing need that you have, that you are dancing. And if you start thinking about geometries, angles, positions, weight, you need to have an alert, like almost toing, I'm thinking about this, forget, and let it go. And then immediately you will start again. Angles, position, body weight transfer, forget it. And it's a training of identification. Okay, you need to discover that on your thinking to be able to have an alert and to contradict that. And then when you go to the studio, it's a good mindset. Make sense?
Yes.
So it was a kind of lecture now, but I feel you because I also passed through that. And sometimes I need to remember myself that when I go to dance, I will go to have fun. Because otherwise it will become just work, and it won't become just work, you lose passion. And if you lose passion, it's a question of time to lose the interest of improvement. So in somehow I'm blessed because I can mix work with pleasure, but at the same time it's difficult to split when it is one thing and when it is another thing. And when I go, for example, here to Mushima, I want to have fun, and I need to find ways and systems to allow me to have fun, although I cannot forget that I'm the owner of the space and I'm teacher here, and I cannot behave as the way that I want. I cannot go completely crazy because I have an image to respect. But at the same time, inside of some barriers, I need to allow myself to disconnect from work and from the space that I'm in. And this, it's like, for me, a magical key to be able to stay longer on this business, keeping the passion that allow myself to start it and to inspire others to keep going through the times. Yeah? Cool? Perfect.